Welcome, I'm Joel Lobb with EVO Mortgage. Today we're breaking down bankruptcy guidelines for FHA, VA, USDA, and conventional loans in Kentucky. If you've been through a bankruptcy, don't give up. There's a path to ownership. For FHA loans, Chapter 7 requires a 2-year waiting period from the discharge date. Chapter 13 borrowers may qualify after just 1 year in a repayment plan, provided payments are on time and the court gives approval from the trustee. This flexibility is why many people choose the FHA loan after bankruptcy. VA loans offer similar rules to FHA. Chapter 7 requires a 2-year wait period. Chapter 13 borrowers may qualify after 1 year with trustee approval and a record of on-time payments for the last 12 months. VA loans remain one of the most borrower-friendly options for previous and current bankruptcy. Getting back to more details on FHA loans, they're one of the most homebuyer friendly options, especially after bankruptcy. If you filed a Chapter 7, you can qualify just 2 years after the discharge date. It's off the discharge date, not the date you filed. As long as you kept record and have a clean history showing steady employment over the last 2 years and have a preferred credit score of 580 or higher, you can potentially get a FHA loan with 3.5% down. For Chapter 13, FHA allows you to qualify after just 1 year in the repayment plan, provided you made 12 payments of on-time payments. You have court or trustee approval on this, and you can use your attorney to help you. And don't forget, Kentucky FHA loans come with additional benefits of only 3.5% down, statewide KHC down payment assistance with a 620 credit score or higher. And if your credit score is below 580, you can potentially go with just 10% down and get approved for an FHA loan. In this chart, I'll give you a quick side-by-side comparison of bankruptcy waiting periods for each loan type. For FHA loans, the wait after Chapter 7 is 2 years, just 1 year after a Chapter 13 repayment plan. FHA requires, as previously stated, 3.5% down with a 580 credit score or higher. And if it's below 580, you can do 10% down. Obviously, with KHC, they need a 620 credit score to go no money down. VA loans are equally flexible. 2 years after Chapter 7 and 1 year into a Chapter 13 with trustee approval. They require no down payment, but are only eligible for VA loans that are active duty or have a COE from the VA. Lastly, USDA loans require a 3-year wait period after a Chapter 7 or 1 year into a Chapter 13 with approval from the courts. These also require no down payment but are limited to designated rural areas in Kentucky with income limits too. Conventional loans take the longest. They require 4 years after a Chapter 7 and between 2 and 4 years after a Chapter 13, depending on the situation. Down payments can range from 3 to 20% down, and they're available statewide. Best suited for buyers needing higher loan amounts, currently over $524,000, and have a credit score of 720 or higher. You can get a conventional loan with lower credit scores, but the mortgage insurance and interest rates will not be favorable as compared to FHA loans. Again, to sum up the waiting periods again for the conventional FHA, VA, and USDA, you need to wait after Chapter 7 for 2 years with an FHA and VA loan. USDA loans require 3 years, and conventional loans require 4 years. To touch on VA loans again in more detail, VA loans are designed for service members in active duty who had a bankruptcy in the past and are looking for a second chance. For Chapter 7 bankruptcy, you'll need to wait 2 years after the discharge date with a clean record since then. Clean meaning no lates, no collections on the credit report. Lates only report on the credit bureaus if you're over 30 days late, so keep that in mind. Chapter 13 VA guidelines allow approval after just 1 year in the repayment plan, as long as you've made 12 payments on time and they have trustee approval and can demonstrate the ability to handle the payments responsibility. The benefits of a VA loan in Kentucky really are unmatched. There's no down payment. There's no private monthly mortgage insurance. and the interest rates are usually the lowest that you can get on a government-backed loan with FHA, VA, and USDA. Again, it's really a good program for veterans in Kentucky if you've had a previous or current bankruptcy. A little bit more detail on USDA loans. Basically need to be 3 years out on a Chapter 7. If you have a Chapter 13, you could possibly do it after 12 months of on-time payments with approval from the trustee. So just keep in mind the biggest difference between USDA and FHA and VA is they require 3 years out on a Chapter 7. For conventional loans such as Fannie Mae, they're much more strict than FHA, VA, or USDA loans. If you had a Chapter 7, you'll need to be 4 years after the discharge date. If you have a Chapter 13, usually it's 2 to 4 years. So they're much more difficult to get financing with than the government agencies. If you've had multiple bankruptcies, they'll increase that waiting period to 5 years. Just to wrap up this video about bankruptcy guidelines for Kentucky FHA, VA, USDA, and Fannie Mae loans. If you have any questions on it, just reach out to me on my cell, 502-905-3708, or email me at kentuckyloan@gmail.com. I've helped a lot of families in the past 20 years get a mortgage loan if they've had a previous bankruptcy. So I'd love to give you a second opinion or give you some option as far as exploring that. MLS number is 57916. Company MLS number is 1738461. We're an equal housing lender. I'm licensed in Kentucky only. For licensing information, you can go to www.mlsconsumeraccess.org for licensing information. All loans are subject to credit qualifying criteria and may change at any time. Thanks, and I hope to hear from you soon on bankruptcy guidelines if you have any.